Hi, I'm Caleb Keenan. Uh, I go to Leon Valley Elementary. This is my first take of this interview, and this project, Origins Empower Change, was given to me by my GT teacher. And here is the one I'll be interviewing, Al. So, Al, our first question. Wait, but first, tell us a little about yourself.
Well, my name is Alfred Mendoza. I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I was born in 1939. And I went to Crockett Elementary School, David Crockett Elementary. Then I went on to Jim Bowie Elementary. And then I went to Washington Irving Junior High School. And I graduated from high school in 1957 at the age of 17.
Okay.
And
Well, that's nice.
thank you, sir.
So, when you attended your school, did you have any nicknames or?
When I was a young man, I was very short. And so they used to call me Tac. In Spanish, it's called Tachuela. And that's what I was known as all through school. And I didn't take offense to it. I just thought it was funny because I was short. Then I stretched in junior high.
Okay. So, next question. How much homework did you have each day?
Well, back in the 1940s, it was during the war, and I don't think we had that much homework per se. We did most of our work in school, and we had very little, if any, homework, because everybody was more concerned about the Second World War, and they really didn't assign too much homework to us.
Okay. And so so I'm thinking you didn't have any homework on the weekends?
No. Most of my weekends were spent outside playing and running into the creek early in the morning and catching crawfish. It was a beautiful time to be alive and be a kid. It was a lot of fun. I had a rope with a tire, and we used to swing on it, and it was all day long, all we did was play. And of course, we had chores to do later, but.
Okay. So the next question, how much recess did you have?
I think we had, if I remember, that was a long time ago, we had recess in the morning, and then we had lunch, of course, and we had recess then. Then we had a recess in the afternoon, and then, it was time to go home. 2 recesses, excluding the lunch break.
You're lucky. And if there's a less amount of recess or more of amount of recess, does that change how the day goes?
Pardon me?
Like if you have more of amount of recess or a less amount of recess, does that change how the day goes?
No, most of our mindset was mostly on playing, and that was it. We had many games we played, but it didn't affect the learn. I think what the teachers taught us in school was to be curious about wanting to learn more. It was up to us to want to learn more, take the initiative,
Okay.
It wasn't so much memorizing as it was wanting to learn more.
Okay. So that just makes us on to our next question. How are kids disciplined?
How were we disciplined? Back in the 1940s, I remember in kindergarten, the nuns, because I went to a Catholic kindergarten, they had a yardstick, and if you misbehaved, they would slap you across the back with a yardstick. Didn't hurt, But then in elementary school, they would take your hand like this, one of the teachers would, and hit your hand with a ruler. It was corporal punishment. And later on, when we went to junior high, they would send you to the coach, and he would bend you over and hit you with a paddle. So it was corporal punishment in those days, so you had to behave.
Okay, so were kids sent to the principal?
No, the principal, you had to really be out of line to go see the principal. This was mostly in the classroom or in junior high with the coach. But you never, very seldom were you sent to the principal's office. We didn't have, you stayed after school, you know, and do your homework then, if you really misbehaved, but you had to really be misbehaving. I was not I behaved myself. I was scared of my dad, that's why I behaved myself. My dad was very strict.
Okay. Was there ISS?
What is that?
Oh, so there wasn't a ISS. It's in-school suspension.
In-school suspension? No, we didn't have that.
Okay.
No. They'd sit you in a corner and make you stare at the wall and put a cap on you like a dunce.
They actually did that?
It was embarrassing.
Did they write things on the hat?
They would put dunce on it and put you up there. Yes.
Okay, what did parents do if a kid got in trouble at school?
When the teacher would paddle you or hit you with a ruler on your hand as punishment and wrote a note to your parents, then when you got home, the parents would spank you and make you stand in the corner and face the wall again. You really didn't want to get in trouble. It's a lot of corporal punishment.
Okay. What was the, oh, never mind. What were kids expected to know or do in each grade?
Well, the main thing, because San Antonio was predominantly Hispanic in our neighborhood, the children had to learn English. But in my case, I was very fluent in English because my mother, see, my grandparents came from Mexico and he worked for the railroad, and my mother and her brothers and sisters, there were 6 of them, they were raised in Bernheimer, Missouri. So when they came back, I was very fluent in English because our language at home was predominantly English. My grandparents taught me Spanish, so I'm bilingual, and I was very blessed that way. But mostly was arithmetic and reading and writing. So I was skipped. From the 1st grade, I went straight to the 3rd grade because they thought I was really brilliant because I could speak English.
Okay. Well, that's really good.
Okay?
Did you have state tests or benchmarking?
Pardon me?
State tests or benchmarking?
Tests?
State tests.
No, they didn't have that.
What about benchmarking?
No, I don't know what that is.
Oh. Okay.
What is benchmarking?
Well, it's like a test that the state or the school gives you, and you have to do it in order to, that's like more than half of your school grade.
A certain criteria then you have to reach, a certain benchmark.
Yes.
Okay.
How did you deal with any war going on? Because I heard you tell me about you had war.
Well, the World War II. I was born in 39. The war started in 33 and it ended in 1945. Now, a little anecdote on that, if I could give you a little side note. I was born May the 8th of 1939. The war ended May the 8th, 1945. So 1945, I was 6 years old. And I woke up in the morning early, I always wake up early, and I knew they were gonna give me a birthday party because all the sirens in town went off. You know, the air raid siren? I don't know if you've ever heard an air raid siren. Have you?
I don't know what an air raid is.
Okay, an air raid siren means the airplane bombers are coming. So you would hear an airplane siren go, oh, like that, real loud.
Oh, I think I've heard it in a game game I played, so yeah, I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
All right, and they went off that day, May the 8th, 1945. I was 6 years old. I ran outside. I was so happy. Everybody was on the street corner talking and yapping. I said, they're probably preparing a big birthday party for me. It was the end of World War II, and they completely forgot about my birthday.
They did?
That's funny.
Okay. Did you struggle at school at all?
No, I never did struggle at school. I never had trouble at school. I loved school, and I loved to learn.
So you were a straight A student?
No, not a straight A student, because I thought playing games was more important than learning at the time.
I see.
And we had a lot of games.
Okay. So, did you have any after-school jobs?
Well, that came later, but my mother, after the war, my mother went to work, and my stepfather, he worked. So I had to come home and I had to sweep the floors. My sister would mop the floors. She would wash the dishes, I would dry the dishes. We would take turns taking out the trash. We had to do the chores. We had to make the beds and everything, you know, before my mom and dad got home from work. If they didn't, we were punished again. We were spanked with a belt. We had to do our chores. Then we could go play and do our homework if we had any. I don't remember doing homework. I really don't.
So, were you being bullied?
I was bullied in junior high school by a young man who was called Roland. And I saw him about a month ago at a high school reunion. And I told him my arm still hurt from the times when he used to bully me. Because we were in junior high school, he would take my hand like this, and he would get a little bone here and hit me right in that muscle, boom. And he'd say, look at the rabbit going up and down. And it would hurt, but he was so much bigger than me that I didn't know it was called bullying, but that's what he was. He was a bully. He would push me into a crowd of girls and laugh at me in junior high school. I was bullied a lot.
So, well, this question is really not really good because it says, did you not like school? And you've already explained to me, you love school, don't you?
I loved school, yes. I thought school was just it. I loved school.
Okay, so that's all the questions I have. So is there anything you would like to show me from your past?
Well, once I graduated, I joined the Navy, and I went to San Diego, California, and this is let me see if I can find the picture of, where's the picture of boot camp? Oh, let me show you this one. This is, I don't know if you can see this is where we're marching in boot camp. See that? And this is me getting an award. Where am I at? Right here. Is that me right there?
Yeah. Wait, you're the second one.
Yes, I'm getting an award, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me show it to the camera for your students there. I don't know if you can see that.
Right there.
You see that? That's when we were in boot camp. See? And then, I'll put that back, because we could spend all day on that book. But then I joined the Navy. Here's this full salvo of a heavy cruiser. And we went on a trip to Western Pacific. Here are the places we went to. I don't know if you can see them. Can you see them there?
Yes.
These are the different places that I went to. See, went all over. Hong Kong, Hokkaido, Toyama, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. I went all in places. And I also went, when I was on another ship, on a destroyer escort, I got to go to Tahiti. Papaete, Tahiti. And this is where I picked up this conch. This is a shell. You can handle it. It's rather heavy. I picked up that shell. Then I picked up another one slightly smaller, but I brought this one for this is a conch. If you hold it to your ear, you can hear the ocean. You can hear the big. So anyway, that was the conch I wanted to show you. While I was in the Navy, if you look at this picture, I'll do this real quick. This is the M division. If you look at this picture, this guy here, I'm sitting right next to him. If you look at this guy, he was Hawaiian, and look at his name is right here. Let me see, the bottom row. Let me see. His name is. Let me show you his name. And there, I have a purpose for telling you his name. Let me see. I can't, right here. That's his name, and I'm right next to him.
Tungalung.
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 That's his name. His name is Tungalung.
That guy right there. Tungalung.
That's his name, Tungalung. And this guy said, hey, Tungalung. And I said, don't call him that. And I went over there, I said, what's your name? He said, Tungalung. I said, well, what's your first name? He said, Melvin. Melvin? I said, well, what's your middle name? He said, my name is Melvin Edward Kayoalani Tungalung. I'm Hawaiian. He was a little short guy. And I found him so interesting. Let me tell you why I found him interesting. That young man, I lost my uke.
I think it's right there.
Huh?
It's right over here.
Oh, it's over there. And so he introduced me, you can grab him. He introduced me to Mr. Uke. See? And this is Mr. Uke, if you can see his face. Can you see his face right there? He's Mr. Uke. I take him to the nursing home now, you know, to the elderly people, the assisted living. And because of Tungalung, he taught me how to play songs, you know. I sing in Spanish, I sing in English, I sing in French, Portuguese, German. I sing in all kinds of languages because I love to learn. I get on the computer and everything. What do you want to hear? Anything in particular?
Nope.
I'm so happy, happy-go-lucky me. I just go my way, living every day. I don't worry, don't agree. Things that bother you never bother me. Things that bother you never bother me. I think life is divine. Living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time.
Wow.
See? That's a ukulele. I learned that from Tungalung.
Wow.
So my life has been a lot of fun. I have enjoyed my life. I still love to go out in the woods and play and do all kinds of stuff.
So
Yes.
cool.
So learn all you can. Apply yourself and learn and learn and learn, because your brain is like a balloon. Once you blow it up, and then it comes back, it'll never come back to its original size. And it gets easier to blow it up again. And your brain stretches and stretches and stretches. And when you get my age, to be 78 years old, you will have a mind that is so open that you will see the world in a whole different light. Travel, you will enjoy your life and have fun, because this is it. This is not a dress rehearsal, okay? God bless you. What was your name again?
Caleb,
Caleb. Oh, God, congratulations, Caleb. Thank you.
thank you.